Recording. Thank you, and go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Anita. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope all of you had great lunch. I am Nithya Nair. I work for Microsoft as a senior technical specialist. I help customers, Microsoft customers, especially in Bay Area, high-tech customers, like name any high-tech companies in Bay Area. I help them with latest Microsoft security offering, and help them to architect, help them to do a POC, explain the threats currently happening in the wild. So it's a very interesting role for me. I talk a lot. I have to do a lot of presentation. I have to do a lot of demos in my day-to-day life. It's really fun. I love Microsoft, a great place to work. So if you are looking for a cybersecurity role in Microsoft, please reach out to us. It's really great company to work for. So that's about a little bit me. I have 18 plus years of experience in IT, and I switched my role to cybersecurity in the last couple of years when I joined Microsoft. So it's a very, very interesting journey, and I'm loving cybersecurity. It's a lot to learn. It's really fun ride, I would say. Let me switch. Okay. So just to start the day, like just giving some jokes for you. This joke here. People really don't know like from where a cyber attack starts. It could be completely unexpected world. People may click on anything that they get it, whether it is on their chat or on their personal email, or it could be on your official email. Anywhere, if they see something interesting, you would think they may not click, but people click there. And that's one of the reasons, that's our most common reasons for cyber attacks in this world. So let me just give you, before I move to Zero Trust, and explain you a lot about Zero Trust features. And this is something, a survey Microsoft did it, and then got to know what is that CISOs are interested in the next 12 months. One of the most, if you look at all these areas, they are definitely looking into cloud security, because everyone are moving towards cloud, especially during this pandemic. And you can see a lot of expansion on the cloud security. And then if you look at the security topic of interest, look at Zero Trust. 43% CISOs are interested in Zero Trust strategy. They really want to implement Zero Trust in their environment. So Zero Trust is being discussed everywhere. And it reached to a point where any security solution, you would see the term Zero Trust. May not have the full principles of Zero Trust implemented, but you would see the Zero Trust word everywhere. So we really need to understand what is Zero Trust, what is meant by Zero Trust. We'll get in depth today in our discussion. And then if you look at here, top 5 challenges. The top 5 challenges, if you look at here, let me just pull up a laser point. If you look at the top 5 security challenges, you can see like ransomware is a major risk. And also making sure all the workloads are protected. And look at this, challenge recruiting qualified security professionals. That's a major challenge. People don't have enough skills to do proper hunting or to understand the whole infrastructure. Security attacker does not have any perimeter. He would get into any areas where he can grab and then gather the information. So we need really good security professionals. It's like we have the US Army, US Navy, we have our defense system, right? Similar way, we need really good people in our cybersecurity environment. Really good technically qualified people in our cybersecurity world. And it's a challenge now. And I can see all the people who worked with me on cybersecurity area, they grew really fast on their career because it's so demanding. It's so demanding in current world. So you see the area of interest, like CISOs need people, CISOs need zero trust, better strategy. So today, let's take a look at what is zero trust. What do you mean by zero trust? Is it like don't trust anybody or no trust? Just keep everything wide open? What is that? So let's take a look at it today. Zero trust is basically like just assume that you are a bad person, whether you are an employee of the company, whether you're a guest, whether you access from company device or whether you access from your personal device. Just assume that you are a bad actor, and then based on a lot of information about you, about the device you're authenticating, about the identity you are trying to access, based on that, verify, is it a legit person? Is he trying to access from a healthy device? Does he need access to this particular service? Why he needs access? So verify everything. And after verification, when you give access, give the least privileged access. You don't need to give global administrator access to everybody in your company. So make sure you give only limited access or limited time access or maybe limited privilege access for that user. So there were customers I worked with. They made sure, like, all the IT people have global admin access and throughout 24/7. Then they said, okay, let me limit to the 10 people. But those 10 people had global admin access 24/7. No, you don't need it. So you can just do the just-in-time access so that when they do the administrative access, they have global admin. Rest of the time, no admin access. So you can reduce the amount of time you have global admin access to. And then assume breach. That's a fundamental of zero trust. Making sure, like, everything the person is accessing, the network, the device, everything verify and make sure all the traffic is encrypted. And then making sure, like, you have your security products integrated, all your security products integrated, sharing the signal in real time, and making sure, like, there is no threat associated with the access. So 3 major principles of zero trust would be verification, least privilege, and then assuming it is breached. A little bit about the evolution of zero trust. The term zero trust, the kind of idea has been there for many years, I would say. Explicitly, it came out around like 2009. Google started implementing it. But then 2010, Forrester analyst John Kinderwag wrote a paper about zero trust, taking the perimeter away, and then just taking that network perimeter away from giving access. So that's how the zero trust journey started. And then the first company who implemented zero trust would be Google Beyond Corp, where the requirement was to give access to their employees without depending on a VPN. So they wanted to implement a zero trust strategy in Google. So 2014, they announced on a published paper that they implemented a zero trust strategy to give access to their applications. Then that's when the whole world started noticing about zero trust. They wanted to know more about it, and companies started brainstorming the idea of zero trust. And in 2018, the Forrester analyst, Dr. Chase Cunningham, and his team came up with a zero trust extended ecosystem. That's when they added more strategies into zero trust devices, identities, just in time access, including all the analytics into the zero trust. More and more information start feeding into zero trust strategy, and the journey continues. So it's really interesting topic. There are tons to read. If you look into a lot of papers on it, a lot of brainstorming happening on zero trust. I would say go and take a research on it. If you are looking into a career path in cybersecurity, zero trust is a must topic that you need to be expert on. So now let's take a look at it. What is Microsoft zero trust strategy? Just before that, let me give you a little bit on Microsoft security. Microsoft was not a security company. We have Windows, we have email, Exchange, Office, Teams, collaboration tools like Teams, Exchange Online, and then we have cloud. We have Azure, the largest cloud, and Office 365 is also a cloud platform. And we have Xbox, various solutions we have, right? And we were not investing on security, but we have so many other companies like Symantec or McAfee. They all provide security solutions for Microsoft products. So that's when, like, okay, we need to come up with the security for our own products. So over the last 10 years, we invested a lot on security. And now we are over 15 billion business on Microsoft security. So we came up with a lot of security solutions, whether it is security for identity or security for cloud, security for endpoints, and collaboration tool, and the list goes on. It's a huge list. The beauty of Microsoft security is all these solutions integrate each other and works perfectly fine for zero trust strategy. And because all these products are connected, integrated together, shares the same entities, it actually, the zero trust the zero trust engine, it evaluates the risk. It's like real time. Immediately, the moment the risk is identified on one of the system, it is the zero trust evaluation engine is like blocking that access. So it's very beautiful how Microsoft architected zero trust strategy. I have to ask you a question. I don't know. Can someone name which is the most hacked, or which is the most or people try to hack the most of among Microsoft products? We have so many products, you know all of it. Which is the most hacking attempt happen product? If you can say that, it would be good. I don't know. I cannot see the chat right now.
So we're getting customer accounts, Microsoft Office.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, anybody else? Somebody says Microsoft Windows.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, go ahead.
So you can see like Windows, you heard the name Windows, you heard the name Office, like customers, of course, customers are, they use all our Microsoft products. The most hacked product would be not hacked, like, trying to attempt to hack, I would say, is Xbox. Gamers are crazy. They are tech savvy. They really want to get into the latest games. Xbox is the most hacked product. Oh, not trying to get hacked, I would say, not hacked. Trying to get hacked product of Microsoft. So we have a huge ecosystem. We are the largest identity provider. We have gaming. We are the largest gaming provider, plus collaboration and cloud. So we have signals from all these solutions. So just looking at a little bit more on the zero trust strategy of Microsoft. The major two pillars of Microsoft zero trust strategy are identities and endpoint. So first thing we look is identities. Who are they? Who is trying to access, for example, application like Office 365 or maybe any of your cloud application? Who is trying to access? Is he using a strong authentication? Is the authentication legit? Is there any kind of abnormality in the authorization? Uh, and then it looks into the endpoint, and say, from what kind of device is the authentication coming from? Is it coming from a corporate device, or is it coming from a personal device? If it is that device compliant enough? Is the device healthy? Does it have any kind of malware on their endpoint? Uh, so so it actually looks into a lot of health of these identities and endpoint. And then based on the information about the identity and endpoint, the information is sent to zero trust policy, and there is a evaluation happens. And also we have a threat protection integration. The threat protection is continuously monitoring the health of the identities and endpoint. That information is also fed into the zero trust policy. Also, it looks into the company's overall governance or compliance or security posture management. Looks, is that person really need access? Um, so it looks into multiple, or is that person really need to access from this location? So there are a lot of governance associated with it, and then that information also fed into the zero trust policy. Based on that, actually it looks into, again, segmentation, whether it is coming from what kind of public network or private network. Based on the network segmentation, also it identifies whether to give access or to block access. So based on that, it actually defines, okay, you can actually give access, or you can block access, or you can say like, okay, I really want to protect, I want to encrypt the email, or I want to encrypt the document that they are trying to access, or I want to make sure like I want to make sure like more, I want to enforce more MFA, or maybe ask more security questions, additional verification based on the network or the persons who is trying to access. So there are tons of verification happening as part of the zero trust policy, and this is really interesting, and it requires a lot of time to configure in an organization. Let me show you just a little bit elaboration of what I said. So the zero trust policy, we actually do it basically with the conditional access. It's a feature in Azure AD, the identity provider. And with identity provider, we actually first verify that how the user is logging in. Do they have multi-factor authentication turned on? I know every product has multi-factor authentication. The beauty of Microsoft multi-factor authentication is it actually integrates with the device Hello features. And also it actually integrates with the other security products that we have. Sometimes, let me tell you a scenario. User account may not be compromised. User password must be strong. The multi-factor authentication is happening. Everything looks good, but there are the solutions like Microsoft Defender for Identity, Microsoft Defender for Cloud App, identified that user is doing a malicious activity. The user is an insider risk based on the activities, the abnormality or anomalies detected on that user's behavior pattern over the last couple of days. It noticed the user is trying to download too many content. The user is trying to access something that he's not supposed to be accessing. There is a user threat. It could be an insider risk. It could be like, somebody, he might have given the money to someone else, or he might have taken the money from someone else and then give the credentials to someone else. So The user threat and signals are analyzed by the security products, and that information is fed into conditional access. So every aspect of the user, whether they are using strong authentication, whether the user's activities are malicious or not, everything is completely monitored, and that information is fed into conditional access for taking a decision, seeing like, is that user safe or user is at risk. The second one is device. User might be very good, doesn't know anything about it, but the device that user is trying to access, again, like you have to take a look at, is that device managed by your company? If it is not, why the user is trying to access a corporate application from an unmanaged device? So the question would be fed into conditional access. Is the device compliant? Is the device meeting the compliant requirement defined by your company? A set of criteria that you define, is it compliant enough? Also, it looks into like devices, even if the device is managed by a company, it might be compliant, but there could be something that the device is malicious, like there could be a malware detection happened on that endpoint. Is the device healthy? Like asking all those questions. Is the device managed? Is the device healthy? Is the device compliant? Based on all these information, the conditional access decides whether you need to give access for that. And if it evaluates, oh, there is something malicious happening, I need to ask MFA. The conditional access would prompt for requesting MFA if needed. Or it could be that the credential is leaked, and then the conditional access Azure AD will ask the user to reset the password. From there, based on situation, it may give access to your SaaS applications or your on-prem application, or maybe you can restrict the access. You can restrict access, like maybe you can say like, maybe do not download certain things, or maybe it requires VPN. You can say like, you can access, but it needs to be approved application. So you can define a lot of policies, how you want to give access. And then you can use Defender for Cloud, our cloud app security broker, to monitor any of your SaaS application, and also verify, like, any sensitive information is not leaked. So zero trust from Microsoft is really powerful, and it is one of the best, I would say, in the industry. The main reason is we manage our own identity, we manage our own endpoint, we have our own operating system, and we provide security for all these products. And no other customers, no other vendors have this much telemetry data that we have. So it's really great. You can do it. I'm not saying other people cannot do it, because these systems are integrated. It is so much real time. It's very easy to implement zero trust with Microsoft products. So I would say, take a look at it, read every company's zero trust strategy, every cybersecurity company's zero trust strategy, how they are implementing. It's a learning process. It will open up a lot of ideas in you. Maybe if you want to be a developer in the future, or if you want to build your own company, like, you get a lot of ideas how to do it, how to make sure, how to protect your own company. This is a very busy slide. The cybersecurity reference architecture, like if you look into this one, I know even I get fainted. There are so much to do for a CISO, right? This is kind of a architecture or foundation that we give it to our customers. And if you look into here, like, you can see we have endpoints. just one tiny area here. We have hybrid infrastructure, like companies have so much of hybrid on-premise data center, and they have a lot of third-party IaaS like AWS, GCP, and then they have to protect the information on their organization. They have their identities on Azure Active Directory or on-prem Active Directory. And then they have industrial solutions. They have IoT devices that they need to secure. So, and then they have a lot of SaaS applications. Like now, everyone are using SaaS applications. So like Salesforce, Box, ServiceNow. So they have to protect these SaaS applications. They need to provide access using a unified identity. They need to provide access to these applications. They need to protect the information on not only on Microsoft or anything, anywhere, whether it is on-prem or whether it is SaaS application, they need to do the information protection. They need to do the data governance. They need to do the forensic analysis. So it is huge. And then on top of that, they need to have a good SOC where signals from all these solutions are fed into a SIM solution, and also make sure you have alerting system and do the SecOps, right? So you need to have a DART team. You need to have a SecOps team to an active hunting. So this is huge. This slide is huge. This is just a snapshot of what a company is undergoing. And also you can see here, people security, don't forget, they are the highest risk in an organization. The people risk, like the employees that are leaving the organization, the employees that are in distress, you would see a lot of insider risk happening in a company. And communication compliance, you need to make sure, like, the communication is compliant, like not using aggressive bad words. Everything needs to be monitored in this current world. So people security also matters. So you need to include all these into a zero trust, and also complete. A CISO has to integrate all these solutions together. It's worthwhile to take a look at the cybersecurity architecture from Microsoft. You can just Google that. You get a really good document on it. Let me ask you, like, why security is so important? Especially the last couple of years, we noticed a huge demand on security. Oh, I think they missed. Okay. So the main thing is why security is more important. I mentioned, like, we have a shortage, number one. And then in the last 2 years, we saw very high profile cyber attacks, like SolarWinds, Colonial Pipeline, the two major cyber attacks in the last year. And then when these cyber attacks happened, so the president, Joe Biden, actually called all the IT companies and then came up with a plan, like, we really need something to do with the cyber attacks. And this is coming from different countries. People are, like, demanding money. It's a ransomware attack happening, and people are demanding so much money, and a lot of sensitive information about us is stolen. So we really need a good cybersecurity people to protect our information, our intellectual properties. We do all the hard work, we build everything, and somebody come and steal that information. Is not good. And then we have to pay to get the access back. That's even worse, right? So like the SolarWinds attack, like, it affected 18,000 companies in the US. Imagine 18,000 companies, including government agencies. That's not something we want to happen again. We don't want the information to be stolen. So everyone who are working on the techie, like, should have security the first thing on their mindset. It is just to not only to protect the IT, it is to protect our country itself, I would say. So there were like 500,000 unfilled cybersecurity jobs currently in United States itself. So so it's a very high demanding area. Cybersecurity is very high demanding area, and I would highly recommend everybody to take a look at what you can do, what you can contribute towards that. So I mentioned you there was the Joe Biden, President Joe Biden met with all the executives, and Microsoft committed 20 billion on cybersecurity. And also Microsoft would invest 150 million to help government agencies upgrade their security systems. Google invests 10 billion over 5 years to strengthen security and train 100,000 Americans on technical field. Also, IBM said it will train more than 150,000 people on cybersecurity and more. Every company now is actually making sure whatever they are building, developing, making sure cybersecurity is included. Usually people run away from security. Hey, no, we don't want to do it. But now it is super important. It's needed for every company for their sustainability. So regarding the job, like now I'm also new to cybersecurity. Like I joined a couple of years ago, but prior to joining this role, I was really good at the IT infrastructure side. I was a systems engineer, so I knew everything about identity. I knew everything about how to set up a cloud, everything about endpoint management. So I was really good at the infrastructure side. So it was easier for me to learn the security aspect of it because the underlining the base was set. So you have to ask yourself, there are tons of jobs in cybersecurity. What do you want to do? If you are very good at coding, I would say like do a developer. You can join Microsoft as a security developer or a researcher. Or you can be a product manager, or you can get into hardware security area. Like you can really get into any company, and then if you're good at coding, you can try to do the penetration testing. You can be a white hat hacker. So you can do a lot of security development kind of role. So if you're good at coding, go for it. If you are good at expert on IT infrastructure like me, you can become a security architect, you can become a security engineer or infosec engineer. You can be a consultant where you can go and talk to big companies and then explain about security solution and what they need to do to fix their environment. Or you can be on security sales, technical sales, or selling security products on these IT companies. Or you can be a risk analyst where you are identifying the risk in a company and then making sure like that risk is mitigated. So that's something like you can think about if you're really good at the infrastructure side of IT. And if you're good at data analyst, if you can write queries, if you can hunt quickly, we really need a good security analyst, a SecOps person who can immediately look into the alerts and do the investigation and then alert you and stop the attack immediately. The incident response and forensic. Forensics is like once attack happens, cyber attack happened, you need a forensic team to go and find out how the attacker came into the organization, what all tactics he used. So you need a forensic person to do the analysis and what all information he took away with him. So you can do that kind of investigation, forensic investigation, if you are really good at analyst. Also, forensic people really need to know infrastructure side of it too. Also, you can be an FBI agent or infosec analyst. It's just like you are protecting your country. You need to have really sharp mind to get into a cybersecurity world. And if you really enjoy hacking, if you really enjoy like getting into like breaking the system, and then a little bit naughty, a little bit curious mindset, I would say like you can get into a white hat hacking, where you are an approved, uh, you are a legal hacker from a company, not like you can just go and hack anything. You are making sure your company is safe, so that you pretend you act like a bad person, and then you make sure you close all the areas where a bad actor can get in to your company. So for white hat hacking, you need to make sure you think like a hacker. Or you can be a penetration tester, like vulnerability as analyst. These are a couple of versions of a hacking or penetration testing kind of jobs. Also, because security is so vast, you cannot be secure everything, right? You cannot be specialized on everything. Sometimes some people would say, I want to really look into application security, a company like Microsoft or Google developing some application. I really want to specialize on that application security aspect of it, or email security, or data loss prevention, or information security. Like you can specialize on particular areas, and then be the best of it, be the best, how to protect that solution. So there are tons of jobs in this in this in this role in cybersecurity. Uh, don't hesitate yourself, like explore what you want to do, and then come up and really need people, because this is one place you would see huge growth in the coming years. So the best time to get in, and then start your the role that you feel comfortable. So we have a lot of programs. We have, this is something I really want to highlight to you. We have a Microsoft Security Summit coming up May 12th. You can register. I think you should be able to register. So take a look at it. If you want to learn more about the solutions from Microsoft, you can take a look at those webinars. There are so many webinars happening. You can look into those webinars or look into the blogs, take a look at it. Also, I would say, like, reach out to us. I am on LinkedIn. If you need any help, if you need any kind of guidance, feel free to get connected. I am on LinkedIn. I can, whatever I can help you. I definitely will help you. So please feel free to get connected. Yeah, I think that's all from me. Yeah, if you have any questions.
I don't see any questions in the Q&A, but if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat or add them to our Q&A panel. And I think we are just about ready to wrap up if you're good. Let's see. No questions so far.
Yeah, and I have to say one thing, women in this organization or women in your college, please come join cybersecurity. We need more women in this field.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know we have an upcoming session as well from
Okay, awesome.
CSUDH alum who she's going to be telling all the ins and outs and the great resources. So,
okay.
Cameron says, great presentation and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions? Brian says Nithya is a fantastic resource. She was on my boarding buddy at Microsoft last year, and I would have been lost without her. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Fred.
That's awesome. All righty. Well, if there's no additional questions, oh, and Tatanka says, thank you, very interesting, my favorite speaker so far. And Pim says, thank you so much, definitely still exploring careers, so this was very helpful.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
please
you,
send a note to me in LinkedIn if you can get connected.
Yes.
Uh,
And we did add your LinkedIn to the chat, and it's also on her speaker profile in the main lobby of the event. Yes, thank you. Thank you,
thank
Yasmin.
you.
All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and end this recording. And if you want, Nithya, if you want to hang on just in case somebody wants to ask a
Yeah,
question
sure,
after, that would be great.
definitely. Yeah.
Thank you.